Chase Lautenbach. Welcome to Talkin' Shift.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this one.
Me too. Thanks for having me, man.
You were next on my list, but we had someone cancel. I'm like, hey, you want to come do this tomorrow?
Second choice.
You were second choice.
Nice.
But you were going to be next anyway. So just settle for first almost.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll work.
But a little background about how I know Chase. Some of you guys know Chase Lautenbach from the Car Takeover world. If you've been watching 1320 video, Chase has been on our channel way too many times.
Yeah.
But Chase was around in, like, in my eyes, the heyday in, like, the explosive growth time frame of 1320 video.
Yeah.
And just, like, this pure joy, hanging out with the boys, screwing with race cars, not worrying about work.
Right.
Just, like, I'm still chasing that moment to get back to, like,
same, brother.
Not caring about stresses, not caring about anything, just hanging with the boys, messing with race cars.
It's weird how things get big, and then all of a sudden it's like, work.
It's work.
You know what I mean? And you're like, oh man.
We still have plenty of fun.
Right.
But you were a big part of that time. You were a big part of 1320 videos growth, and something special stemmed from that time too.
Right.
Which is Car Takeover.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll definitely talk about that.
Oh boy, yeah.
But there's so many different things we could talk about.
I don't even know where you start.
So I don't even know, honestly.
It's been a lot.
We've partied a lot. There's a lot of things we can't see on camera, but we've all grown up. I still do it, but he's a pussy.
Well, wow.
Just kidding.
I'm offended.
You grew up. You have a family.
I did. Yeah. I got lots of kids now.
But one of my best friends, longtime friends, we've known each other for like 15 years.
Brother.
But let's go back to the Sonic days. I think that's a great moment.
Yeah.
I think I started hanging out with you maybe a year or two before you introduced me to Garrett.
Yeah. No, I think it was more than that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking back. I mean, what year would that have been? It had to be 2000. I mean, it had to be like 2008.
Okay. Yeah.
2009. I mean, I had to be like 18-ish, 19-ish, right about to turn 19, I think. So it was like right after high school, or high school was ending. So I still remember the first night I ever hung out. It was on the Sonic on 144th and Maple in Omaha.
Yeah.
So I was just driving by, and all of a sudden I saw, what's his name?
Oh, was that was the year Ice Cream Cruise was there?
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Like it's been so far back now that I don't even know, you know? But who was it? Was it Cruisin'? Was that his name on the old forums? He had the red Cobra R or whatever.
Oh, Swervin'.
There you go. Swervin'. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yes. Back then. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is a big throwback.
Long time ago. Yeah. I mean, Ice Cream Cruise hadn't even made it over to 144th yet. That's years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. That's the first time I ever hung out with you. I still remember. Yeah.
Insane. So we've known each other for almost 20 years then.
Yeah. Long freaking time.
Thanks for jogging my memory.
There you go.
Life moves so fast that I have, I think part of the reason I have 100,000 photos on my phone is because I'm afraid of forgetting something, because I just don't have time to even like reflect on things after something cool happens. I just have to move on to the next thing. And it's cool for moments like this to think back to that. But one of the biggest moments related to 1320 video and Chase is the 3Dx Evo.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we're going to jump around here because there's so many different things to talk about. But
that was a cool one.
We had so much fun with 3Dx Evo. Besides the twin engine Volkswagen, and you might even be competing for that. I don't know which one has more views across our social media.
I don't know. It was the Evo for a long time.
Or the Volkswagen.
Yeah.
But the Evo itself wasn't that cool. It was you in the Evo that made that car cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that thing.
Your ego in that Evo made it what it was.
Well, not only that, but like I think the cool thing about that time, like you were saying earlier, it was like the boys. You know what I mean? And when you get a group of us together around something that like we think is cool or we all believe in, it's just like you could tell that the video just feeds off that. You know what I mean? So like it's just everybody wants to be a part of something like that. And it just worked really, really well.
It was all natural.
Right. It was just, we were just literally having fun. And there just happened to be cameras around. So that's what I think was so cool about those days, is because it wasn't so serious yet. And I don't think anybody really realized what it was going to become You know what I
Nope.
mean? I mean, shoot, we're
I
sitting
had
here in
no
a
idea.
massive building
I had
doing
no
a
idea.
podcast now. You know what I mean? And back then we would have been like, what's a podcast? So, right.
There's so many things from when I met you to today that have stemmed from the things that we've done together or
Right.
separately.
Mhm.
And it's crazy. That Evo was built by 3D Motorsports here is why it's called 3DX Evo.
Right.
And then one of my favorite moments is when we took it to Carl Performance
Yeah. Yeah. Car.
for the dyno.
Yeah.
Because they had one of the only all-wheel drive dynos in
That
the
was
area.
anywhere nearby. Yeah. Yeah.
And one of our friends was running the dyno, and we just had a party there. And your character so natural, like you and Garrett were both just naturally entertaining. And the stuff you just said randomly,
Right.
I'm Chase Lautenbach. I'm here to break the record.
And I did.
And you did.
I did.
Big flex.
Yeah. Huge flex.
There was a big correction factor in that dyno.
No, there was
I'm
not.
kidding.
It made
I'm
it even,
kidding. There
it
was
made
so,
it even
oh my
worse.
God. Oh my
Their little
God.
baby Chase. That's my dad.
Oh,
My dad.
baby dad too.
Yeah, right. Man. But yeah,
You're
those
old.
I am old. Dude, I got gray hair going on through here right now. I was in the mirror this morning and I looked at my daughter. I was like, you did this to me.
I have
So-
gray hairs here. Just wait till that
I don't
happens.
got that yet.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I still party
Little
like I'm
baby
20.
Joey and little baby Fred too.
Is that Fred?
Yeah, look at
Oh
Joey.
My,
He looks like a little
gosh.
kid, man.
like look at all the different. There's so many different moments that just
I
stem
know.
off from these videos we look at, and I have a vivid picture of that dyno room in that car.
Right.
It's insane.
Right. It was so much fun. That car was so freaking cool. I found another one the other day on Marketplace that was like the guy was kind of like building it after that car. Except, since then there's been a bunch of cool stuff that's come out for that car that was not around when
Yeah, exactly.
we built that thing. Because
What do you?
I mean-
what do you think the dyno record is now? Like 1300?
well, it's the ETS boys still, I think, right?
I don't know.
It's the English racing guys, and I think it's freaking fast. That car's been
Oh, the one they raced at World Cup and
yeah,
stuff.
I think it's been like
Lucas.
770s or something like that. I mean, for anything that's fast, but like an Evo, like holy cow, man!
How
so-
quick did your dyno run in the ET?
Fastish.
Sorry. Did you ever run it at the track?
No,
think
there
so.
wasn't enough driveline parts for it.
Oh, true.
So like
You were gonna just break
everybody's
it.
like, why don't you take that car to the track? I'm like, because
No,
I
I
don't want to
remember.
put it back together every single weekend.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have the stuff to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
How
yeah,
many views does that have? 3.2 million.
Yeah, for a
in
dyno
12
video.
years.
it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've sat in on like 12-hour dyno days. They're so boring. We were there for like 3 hours and it was just a party the whole time.
It was fun.
Oh
it was
my
quick too.
gosh.
And there was a bunch of people that showed up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. So it was
Beater Bomb is there watching
cool.
your little four-banger dyno.
Yeah, he had to make sure that I wasn't going to be faster than him, but it is what it is. So. I mean, why else would he be there?
There's Chad Vincent. Holy cow.
Yep, he looks like a baby too.
There's ears.
Yep. Everyone was there, man.
AJ. Oh my gosh. I miss those days. Yeah, Devin, DKT
Yep.
Performance.
Yep.
Yes.
Still around. Still
Wow.
around. I talk to him from time to time.
Oh my gosh. No one knows no one knows what we're talking about. Anyway, speaking of breaking that car, didn't break it, but there was a scary moment where you let somebody's mom
Yeah.
drive your car.
Yeah.
How nerve-wracking was that?
It really wasn't that nerve wracking.
Okay.
I mean, at the time, I
you
was,
weren't in the car. It was a
Yeah.
little scary for me.
I don't know. It was one of those deals where like at the time, I don't think I really knew, like what, like even like mechanically of the car and stuff like that. It was one of those deals where it just the car had been so like reliable that I just never even thought about like
Oh, you were in the car.
that it could break or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really, really fun day though. I remember pulling up in her driveway and she was just like, you should let me drive it sometime. And I was like, do you want to drive it? So she said she knew how to drive a stick. So here we are.
She drove it harder than you did.
She did. She absolutely did.
And for the record, Stinson didn't want to join us on this podcast. He's over here in the podcast booth.
I can't even believe you.
Laughing at us.
Yeah.
I invited him last night at 11 o'clock at night. I was like, give you a little warning. I really wanted to have him sitting here
Wish
to
you
talk
were
about this
here.
moment, but he's say hi.
Hello.
Were you scared for your mom?
That's all I got. I wasn't even there.
Oh, you weren't?
I was working. So
Were you?
Yeah.
Because I remember we were over at your house. I don't remember you not being there. but
What's funny is
maybe.
there's so many misconceptions about this. They think it's your mom
Yeah, everyone thinks it's my mom.
Yeah.
or somebody's grandma.
Right.
you couldn't make up the story.
No.
It was just such a fun, pure
Right.
time. And I literally edited this video the next day on the flight to Maryland for a PayPal trip to train a new team out there of 20 people or 12 people. And we were in a conference room. Well, first of all, I posted the video at like 11 o'clock at night when I landed there at the hotel.
Right.
I woke up in the morning and my friend said, "Have you seen the news?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like your video's on Good Morning America. I'm like,
yeah.
This is like
they're
7
like
hours
viral
later.
deal or whatever. Yeah, I remember.
It was Mother's Day. I accidentally posted on Mother's Day. The perfect.
That really was the perfect time.
Literally the perfect time. And so we're sitting in this. It was Bill Me Later that just got acquired by PayPal, and I was training their staff on PayPal and how things were gonna work. And every 30 to 40 minutes, we'd pop up on the projector the YouTube video to look at the stats and see where they're at. It was such a cool moment. That was one of my first, like, probably one of the only wildly viral videos I've had on YouTube.
Right.
Just watching these stats just skyrocket. And it was amazing.
Right. I mean, it really was cool too. I mean, that car back then, we turned it up a little bit before Texas. So it wasn't all of it, but it was pretty dang close right there. I mean, and she drove it. I mean,
that moment when we turn out from, I think I just hopped in, you hopped out, and we were turning onto the road.
Yep.
And she hits it, and she gets sideways in second gear, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna break? Is it gonna go in the ditch?" And she drove the heck out of it.
Yeah.
She's like a little sleeper cell, racer. It's amazing.
Right. I mean, back then, that car weighed not much, they're little tin cans. And that car right there, it was making right at 900, 908. Yeah. So, it was stock ECU. So it's not like it had settings to turn it down, Yeah. And Mom just jumped right in and was like, "Let me drive it." So,
and she never broke the speed limit, but I was literally at dinner or lunch, I think that day or the day after, and the news showed up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Don't say anything. Everything's fine." And she just had a great conversation.
She's awesome. She's awesome. Yeah, we had so much fun right there. So that's awesome. We should do a new video where she drives my GTR. Yeah.
Which one? Oh, that GTR?
She's been waiting for
the
next video.
Oh,
really?
Boy.
Yeah.
Did we put her in a car at the track?
We did that driving experience. It was like a Lamborghini around the road.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened. It didn't work out
for
video.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was your mom's an amazing person.
Right. She's awesome.
Love
so much fun.
She's just such a sweetheart. Like, she's just Mom.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to, she's just Mom to everybody.
So there's so many places we could take this conversation, but TX2K you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
This could be a 30-minute conversation,
but boy. Allegedly.
One of my peak TX2K memories was once again just hang out with the boys, screw with race cars. Like, it was just a party. Jake Allen was there, Fam was there,
Dalton was there.
There's just like
Garrett was there. Baby Garrett was there. Remember,
you had to become his legal guardian for the week.
Yeah, his parents went to Mexico and she signed him over to me. I couldn't even believe that.
Yeah,
like, what?
You were responsible for Cleetus. What would have happened if you would have messed that up?
Oh boy, well, probably nothing good considering when Garrett and I did a massive burnout in front of his house here in Omaha, and I thought his dad was going to unalive me. It was not good. So if we were a baby boy, oh boy, oh no, yeah. So it was basically it was the day before Garrett left to go to Florida. He was moving to Florida to go to school there, and I had the Viper, and he was like, he called me some names and told me that I wouldn't do it in front of his house. I was like, "I will do it, Garrett. Like, I will do a burnout in front of your house." And I did like a freaking 8th mile just heater down his road. Well, I didn't know, and Gary didn't tell me that they had just redone the asphalt in their parents' neighborhood.
No.
Yeah. And like, guys, this is back before Garrett like got big into cars.
And it was a nice neighborhood.
He wasn't near the car guy with all the knowledge and like the racer.
He was a nerdy little kid.
Right. He was a nerdy little kid that just liked cars, you know? And
he still is.
Yeah. Right. But at least now he's like super knowledgeable. Like, Garrett is very, very smart now when it comes to cars. Very smart. Like, legitimately, the kid's a great mechanic now.
He just soaks up all the knowledge.
Right. It's just, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But like, we did this like 8-mile long just heater in front of his parents' house. And I'm talking like boiling the tires off of my Viper. And I'm 22, 23 at the time or something like that. And I still remember Garrett's dad the next day came back from being like out of town, I think. And he called me, and I have never answered the phone to a more like, like it was so bad. He was so mad. And like, I can't even begin to tell you guys how mad Garrett's dad was. I love you, Mark. I'm so sorry. Okay. Still to this day, I apologize to him when I see him.
I'm
not even joking.
He forgives you.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he did. But like, man, he's like, you need to get your butt back over to this house and get a power washer and start washing this off the street.
I know there's no hope in that with that.
Yeah. And I'm like, brother, Mark, I'm so sorry, but a power washer ain't going to cut it, brother. Like, sorry. So yeah, that was not one of our
We
best
had a
moments.
burnout party in Baxter's back lot when I worked there for a video, and I posted it the next day, and my manager's like, you had 24 hours to fix all the holes in the parking lot before I go to the owner Baxter, which is I'm like, yes, sir.
Oh boy.
And the parking lot was like falling apart. But anyway, going back to TX2K.
Right.
That was a very memorable trip for so many different reasons. But you didn't sleep leading up to that trip, and you can't sleep at TX2K.
No, it was terrible, man.
I literally have it's one of the oldest photos on my phone of a photo of you that looks like
it looks like I got beat up.
You were awake for 7 days in Thailand.
Pretty much.
Just partying your butt off.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Give me just a second, just to jog your memory. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, I remember it. Like I had like.
I have 100,000 photos on my phone, but this one right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was terrible, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
Lambo hunting.
Yeah.
And what else?
Oh man, Uncle Kevin. He's my uncle. Yeah, I mean, allegedly there's a lot of stuff that happened on that trip. And yeah, it was pretty cool. That one kind of changed everything for a lot of people. I mean, just the stuff that
you already had a lot of attention with the car leading up to that, obviously.
Right. But then it just kind of took off after that. You know, the car did a lot of really, really cool things. That car was so before its time. It was unreal. I mean, there was one other fast Evo 10, and but all it ever did was just made power on the dyno, and it wasn't as much as mine did either. And so it was just one of those deals where it was so so before its time. I don't even know what else to say, but.
And you wrapped it with the 1320 logos around the backside. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really understand what you're going to do. You asked me about it, and then I saw it at TX2K. I'm like, this is amazing.
Right. It was pretty cool.
Gosh.
That took forever to do, man. Oh my gosh.
But you went there with a goal. Didn't you go there with a goal to race a Lambo? Or did that happen in the moment?
No, that just it happened organically. I mean, it was one of those deals where.
Because they were the car to beat back then.
Right.
2010, my first year, there was one turbo Lambo, which was SW. I think I went for a ride there, or 2011, I forget. And then in 12, there were like maybe 8 turbo Lambos. And then this year, there were like 20 of them on the streets.
There's tons,
But you had to be at the right place in the right time and talk enough shit to line up a race with them, because they didn't want to waste their time racing someone too slow. Well, they also didn't want to risk losing to someone.
Right. It's the same way the underground still is, right? Like they won't race somebody that they know they're outgunned.
Mm-hmm.
And which, like, I get it. Like, I wouldn't want to either, but like, you know, proof is in the pudding. So it was one of those deals where I just, you know, I thought it would be fun and all those words, and it just ended up happening. It was kind of cool.
I think it was the night before you tried racing this orange Lambo, right?
Allegedly.
And he would he'd make a hit, you'd make a hit.
Yeah.
And then nothing happened.
Well, yeah, the car, it kind of like it was keeping up, and it was reeling him in. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, I mean, bro, like we should do this. Because at the time, you know, just being young and dumb, it was one of those deals where like it was just fun. And like I had never been in a racing situation where like, you know, it wasn't just buddies where you just want to get a race off because it's fun, you know? And that was like the first ever like pushback I ever got for wanting to race somebody. And I got addicted to it at that moment. Like the drama around racing. Yeah, the drama around racing is honestly more fun than the racing a lot of times.
We're sitting here in a parking lot with Underground Racing guys, and I had you come to the parking lot because you posted something on Facebook saying you were Lambo hunting.
Right.
And that just spiked the blood pressure.
Oh yeah. Well, and I had Dalton Boost Lee, the Boost Lee Supra, which there's plenty of videos of him at Texas Invitational and all that stuff. Yeah. So I met Dalton down there, and it was one of those deals where we just became brothers instantly. We still,
and he had no problem saying anything on his mind.
No, he still doesn't. I mean, like I was legitimately just with him last weekend at our event in Kansas City. Like we still hang out.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. We still talk every single day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like it's just cool how you meet somebody in a parking lot and they're just your brother forever.
Yes.
So like that's the coolest part about this world. But yeah, so the car was fast. They were out like making videos or whatever, trying to like I think they were showing off the new Aventador kit or something, and you know the 3DX Evo, it made its way out there, ended up like staying with some of those cars, and I just out of fun, you know what I mean? I never had talked to anybody that was like that didn't want to race if I asked. Like
there wasn't a clean race, and you were eager to see what
it would actually do. Yeah, because I mean, like it's one of those deals, man. Where like even still today, like I like racing at the track, we find ourselves in positions all the time with other shops and other people. You know, we're like we'll run our mouse on Facebook. And good, bad, or indifferent, it's one of those deals where like I'll freaking race anybody. So it's one of those like if John Force, when we got invited to do the NHRA deal, if he was like, hey, you want to make an exhibition pass for everybody just so they could see, you know, I'd be like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean I'm supposed to lose, but if I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's just it's just cool. So it just
looking at this video, there's so many faces that I recognize that I have had friendships with since this point.
Right. I mean,
there's so many nice, humble, like friends from Omaha, but just friends in the racing scene.
Right.
There's so many nice, humble people in that parking lot that were just like in that heated, competitive, shit talking moment.
Right.
And what came out of it, one of the nicest guys ever, Tim in his green car.
Yeah. Oh, the poor guy.
Picking on Tim.
Yeah. Poor Tim.
And it's like a year and a half in, and his clutch broke or transmission broke.
It was the trans. So okay. So this was like we were talking about. This is back when turboing Lambos
was a new thing.
Was a brand new thing.
3 years. 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, I mean, it's brand new for all practical purposes.
And Underground Racing was innovating in that world. They were the only people doing it.
Right. And like the trans stuff, it just wasn't, it kind of like my car, honestly, like the stuff just wasn't there yet. We can make the power, but the stuff wasn't there yet. And so, you know, I was talking to more than a few people because we went into this very prepared. Like it might just look like a bunch of idiots yelling at each other. But that's definitely not what it was. Like a lot of it was very scripted. Let's put it that way. And like, you know, even I don't think the video shows it, but Wes literally picks me up and throws me over his shoulder, and I'm screaming at Kevin and Casey that you're shook off the Mitsubishi, and he's carrying me away. This
is what it took to line up a race.
Yeah, that's what it took. Like you had to make a big enough stink about everything, or else they just wouldn't do it. You had to get underneath their skin, which I don't know, I'm pretty good at, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we were in that parking lot.
Did my car look good from behind?
Freaking hours and hours. So,
Tim's such a great guy. He gave Debo a ride in that car the year before, I think, at Sealy. You picking on Tim.
Well, I know, but it was one of those deals where, like, okay, it's a gated car.
But it was such a crazy moment.
Yeah, like, and we knew, like, the reason why we wanted to go from a 40 was because we knew that was the wrong gear for him to be in.
You needed your race.
And I needed it. And so, and 40 for me was
2-3 shift broke.
Right.
Like they tend to do.
Whoop, woo.
I did a few times in my car.
Yep. It was the most beautiful sounding V10 moment ever. because it sounded good. I know it was expensive, but it sounded good.
You rolled up in a turbo V10 here.
I know. Well, you got to
talk about that, but literally, what a full circle moment to think about that.
I know. Well, I'm still playing with imports too. Still a big GTR guy.
Big racer.
Still little motor, big horsepower guy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that was literally, I think, of all the TX2K years, it could be my favorite. Just end to end track racing, street racing, hanging with the boys.
Right.
Not really about work, just about going out and having fun together.
Right. And I think it was one of those, I think that was kind of the year that kind of showed us too, like how big everything could be. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that the first year of like doing merch at the track and all that stuff too? It was pretty close.
I think it was because Mikey brought his truck with that tent I borrowed from a friend in Lincoln.
Correct. We had like a blue pop-up tent.
Then there was a storm that rolled through and like destroyed the whole tent.
Correct.
We had to pick up all the pieces.
Yep, it was a mud hole at the track.
Mikey's truck got stuck.
Oh, it was bad.
His dad's truck got stuck.
Everything got stuck.
My van got stuck. Oh my God. Look at that.
Right.
Is that Mikey?
It's Mikey. With the bear. Yeah.
Gosh. There's the tent.
There's the tent.
Yep. Jacob,
Garrett in the red shorts.
Yeah, and this was the year. Oh, there's Cleetus just playing with the tent. Your child at the time.
Yeah, my
child for the week.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. Let's switch gears.
Okay.
There's so many different moments, and Street Car Takeover is one of them I want to talk about. But rewinding a little bit back to Sonic days.
Right.
Was it 2012 or 13? 12? Yeah, it would have been 12.
Yeah, it had to be.
11 or 12.
When I met Garrett?
When you so you met Garrett shortly before you introduced him to me because you pulled up at a stoplight next to him, I think.
Yeah, it was either 11 or 12. It was either 11 or 12. Because at the time, I was dailing a Mazda Speed 6. Cool.
Yeah.
So were you. Nice. I was dailing a Mazda Speed 6. And I pulled up to Garrett at a stoplight. And he was in his dad's truck. Garrett, So I met him at a stoplight. We ended up talking at the stoplight. We pulled over, and I was like, "Hey, we're having a meet tonight. Like, you should roll through." And so he came, and then he just never left.
Yeah, instant race car friends.
Right, like every single time we were doing anything, Garrett was there. And that's kind of how he got his introduction to 1320 Video. We met at the same stoplight. In fact, it was what street was that? I think it was like 132nd and like L. Is when it's like right by Sublime. Is that 120th or 132nd? I don't know, whatever. But it was like right in front of like In Phase Industrial. And like Sublime and all those places, of all places,
How long was that before we hung out together at Sonic? A week or two? Or?
Yeah, because remember, like we used to also meet up at the those little shops in front of Village Point a lot, and that's where we were meeting up that night.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. So we were there. And it just had to be a couple weeks. I mean, it wasn't really that long, maybe a month or two, maybe.
There's just like these really small things that if it never would have happened,
right?
There's a lot of things in this world, in the race car world, that wouldn't exist.
You're right.
And literally a bunch of things. I reflect on this a lot. Different events that have blown up, different personalities, TV shows, things like that I've had some part in, or 1320 Videos family has had some part in.
Right.
And it's just insane.
Right. It changed everything.
What the race car world's become.
Right.
And watching Cleetus, sorry.
Right.
Everyone.
Garrett.
It's all, hello? I lost him. Hello? Test. Okay. This thing just keeps
wiggling loose.
Yep. Hello? There we go. All right, we're good. Anyway, watching Garrett do his thing, it's still such a natural thing for him. And
right.
Literally, he was just this goofy kid that we would film and send goofy clips to our friends in group chats. And then a few clips went online. And then eventually, after a year or so, or maybe a couple of years, things just spiraled out of control.
Yeah, it just
in an amazing way.
It was like a light switch. All of a sudden, it just went and then took off.
We talked to Joey on our podcast about the moment with Beater Bomb against the bikes.
Yeah.
And Garrett pulling up on the island, filming from his Subaru. I think I was filming from behind Joey's car. And just that's just burned in my head.
Right.
That moment where things just blew up.
Right.
Look at Beater Bomb.
Right.
Look at Garrett. Look at you. Look at 1320 Video.
Right.
Wow.
It's so cool. Like, and we've talked about that a couple times too. to be a small part of something so big is really, really cool because what we did back then, it is splintered off into a million different things that are still going today.
And there's some businesses that I support. It's rare, but there's some businesses I support, and I kind of feel like I shouldn't have. Like maybe they're not the right type values, or sometimes they don't take care of customers or whatever. All these people in our 1320 video family are just great people.
Right, right.
And Garrett is no exception.
Right.
Garrett and his whole family are amazing people.
They really are, yeah.
And like, it's hard. You search for faults in people just because you doubt that they're that wholesome. But there's so many people in the 1320 video family that are just truly wholesome people.
Right. And I think the coolest part is like what you see is what you get. Like the people that were in those videos, that are still in those videos, if you were to walk up to them, they're still those people.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about it. It's so organic and so real. And I think that's why it works. It's real, you know? There's so many things in this world that are just so forced, and nothing about it was forced. We were literally just like having some of the best days of our lives, and we were just lucky enough to catch them on camera.
Things just fall into place.
Right. They really do. It do be like that.
Speaking of those things that have stemmed off, it was probably a year later where you're like, Kyle, we should do a 1320 video traveling event.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I am just peak capacity, stress, workload. I don't know how to manage people necessarily. I've got friends that help me do things, but I still don't feel like I can manage people. But
I still remember the moment that I sent you that text.
Yeah.
I still remember it. I was at my house out in Valley, and I had just gotten home, and I was thinking, man, I was thinking how bad like work sucked, you know. And
where did you work at the time?
I was selling insurance at the time. Yeah, big insurance guy.
Your boss was an asshole.
Right. Thanks, Dad. But it was one of those deals where I pulled up or whatever. It had been a long day. I want to say it was one of those nights where I got home at like 10 o'clock at night. I mean, we were doing 60+ hour weeks, driving almost 100,000 miles a year. I mean, it was a lot, you know. And for how young I was, we were crushing. But it's just like, it was a lot, you know.
It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, right.
Good money.
Right. And so I was pulling into the driveway, and I was like, man, I just want to go hang out with my friends and have fun. Like I was remembering like TXUK and some of the other trips that we went on, like when we went to King of the Streets in Chicago and stuff.
Oh man,
that was so much fun.
Yeah.
But like I was thinking about that. I was like, man, like why don't we do that? You know, like we're selling merch already. We're filming and covering all these races. We get to see the ins and outs of what all these events are doing. We can kind of see what people like and what they don't like. Like, why don't we do it? And originally, I wanted to call it 1320 Video Invades whatever city we were going to, because I just think it would have been cool. You know, like I just want to go race with my friends. That's all I wanted to do. Like, it was never really like, oh, well, here's a business plan and let's all sign agreements and like all this stuff.
Like
right.
That.
It was just, let's just go have fun and film it, you know? And, yeah, I still remember we met at Twin Peaks in Omaha to talk more about everything.
That's ironic.
And yeah, right. Oh, I know, right? Right. That's really ironic. If you want to dig into that more, we can too. But like, but we met in the back of a Twin Peaks in Omaha, Nebraska, and then from then on, we were off to the races.
Yeah, I basically said I'm at max capacity. I can't stomach running an event too.
Right.
So why don't you just go do it, and I'll be your media company to cover it.
Right. And so that's how it all started. And so we had Justin there, me there, you there. And from that moment on, it was back in...
We met at Upstream for a second dinner, I believe.
I think we did,
and and that was when we were trying to figure out the name of it.
The name of it, yep. And I still don't know how I came up with it. It was just, I don't know. That's just what it was.
It had to have streetcar in it somehow.
Right, it had to,
And you were talking about 1320 Video Invades.
Mm-hmm.
So
Invades is kind of like a takeover, right?
I think that's kind of
not
where it
the dumb
morphed
takeovers.
Into. Oh my gosh!
Oh man, yeah, that's been a fun one for us.
Yeah. He's like, don't call them takeovers. I was like, that's what they're called.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to be associated with it, but
I know. Man, like we have everything
burnouts,
we have everything trademarked and all
people.
that stuff, and it's just like it's a never-ending thing for us, and it's so dumb because we were around so much before any of that crap started happening. So
the cancer of the car community.
To say the least. I call it worse than that, but we'll keep it clean.
Anyway, but what's come from that has just been incredible. And just like Garrett and what he's done on his own, I would have restricted the growth of what Street Car Takeover was by me owning, managing that, whatever, alongside you. I feel like you taking that with Justin made it what it was. I would have restricted the growth of that.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of what that's become, because it's changed the streetcar world, and it gives streetcar communities a reason to come together and hang out with their friends, like what we did here in Omaha.
Right. And, you know, like, I'll just be honest with everybody. You know, we've been doing this for, I want to say it's
11, 12, 13 years.
I think this started, 12th or...
So it was KC2K 12, and then it was Street Car Takeover 13.
So we're in our 12th season right now, right? So yeah, we're in our 12th season.
Wow.
And and like, you know, last year towards the end of the year, like I was struggling, man. Like it's just like I don't think people understand like how much work goes into doing those types of things. It's so much more than just making a Facebook post and it happening. You know what I mean? Like there's so many variables.
How many events do you have at your peak?
So at the peak,
the most in a year,
when we were young and just doing it, I want to say the most races that we ever had in a year was 23, all around the country. Yeah. And so like nowadays, you know, I got 3 kids, I have a wife, all that stuff. We've cut back a little bit. I think we have like 12 or 13 this year, but it's still a lot, you know. And
you don't have a team of 50 people.
No, we don't. No, a lot of it, honestly, is the Chase and Justin show. And then we have Sophie, who is incredible, and she helps so much with stuff behind the scenes, and she's kind of grew into a new role where she's more out front now. So
Love
Justin
Sophie.
and I, so Justin and I can kind of step back.
You have your
bit.
core people too that travel with you, but every year that core crew kind of shifts a little bit.
It shifts a little bit, yeah. It's you know, Cliff, our announcer, who's been with us for years, and like if you don't know who Cliff is, he is literally the best announcer in the world.
No filter.
Yeah, no filter. That is the only reason.
That's what I love
that's
about
the only reason, in my opinion, why the NHRA hasn't tried to steal him from us. Because I was actually nervous about that when they invited us to do our class at the national event. Cliff got to go up to the box and talk with their announcers, and he was so much more entertaining. Talk circles around them in a good way, not in like a rude way.
Yeah.
It just
everyone has their different entertaining factor in
it's
announcing.
Just they're so just next up is John Force, you know, and like Cliff will talk to you. He'll explain.
He's
like,
literally partying with the crowd, even though he's not in the crowd necessarily. He's up in the announcement, just having a great time.
Right. He's amazing.
He sees everything from the booth or on the ground, and he knows the vibe.
And he has a deep understanding of all of it too, which is awesome. And so yeah, we have Cliff, and Cliff says it perfectly. We're a bunch of carnies. I mean, that's really what it is. We're a bunch of racing carnies. So it's you know, we're the circus that just travels around and sets up races, and it's a blast. So, but yeah, it was kind of cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, well, okay. It was one of those deals where, like, you know, I was kind of getting a little bit burnt out last year, and going into our kickoff party in Kansas City last weekend. Like, this goes back to the how everything comes full circle, and it's just really cool. We invited a bunch of our family friends from Omaha that, like, they've never been, like, they know what we do. And we talk about it, and they're all like, "Oh, that sounds cool," you know. But we just recently started going to Kansas City last year because that's the new track, you know. Amazing and so we're track. Like, we just invited everybody. Like, hey, we have an event this next weekend. All of you guys should come. Like, see what we do as a family for real. And they came down, and I'm fortunate enough now that we have a team around us to kind of help us run the events, to where I don't have to be so hands-on anymore. So I got to kind of just be Chase and a dad, and have my kids there, and my wife, and all of our family friends, and my parents and her parents came. Like, everyone was there, and everyone got to like watch me race my car. And at the end of it, like, everyone was texting me at the end. They're like, "We cannot believe it. Like, that was unbelievable. Like, it was so much fun." And I tell everybody, we're so fortunate to have our racetracks. Like, and everybody needs to support racetracks.
Yes.
Like, if events are doing good, that means that the car world's doing good. Our hobby stays alive. Like, it's the last real place, in my opinion, where it is still real America. And if you don't know what that means, get to a racetrack and go experience it, because you'll instantly know. Like, your kids are safe there. Most of the time, it's a safe setting. Like,
it's a great escape from reality.
Right. It's a great place to raise your family. So we're so lucky to have that. So fortunate. Like, I got to see that again. And it got me really, really excited for this season. Like, it really lit a fire underneath me. I'm excited.
That was actually going to be my question was, after 12, 13 years of doing this and it becoming sometimes more work than
a job for real.
Than fun, what do you do to keep yourself motivated and keep it fun? Like, what helps with that?
Racing, still like making sure that you find time to strap into the car and go do what we started this for in the first place, you know? And even last weekend, we found ourselves in a really interesting situation with some pro mod boys. And in my GTR, we'll get into that if you want to, but it was interesting to say the least.
That's one thing that sets you guys apart from a lot of other races. You don't see too many race promoters racing in their own race.
Right.
But you and Justin typically will have one or two cars.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, and we will try to win too. I mean, it's one of those deals where
even if you have to cheat in the roll race.
If you ain't cheating in a roll race, you ain't winning.
I know.
Ask Underground.
Don't tell. I mean, they know. Tell everybody.
So, well, I'm sorry. I mean, it's all on camera. You can see.
Roll racing is a cheater's game.
It is.
That's
it really
what makes
is.
it fun.
Right.
Anyway,
so I'm more of not like the dig racing stuff now. It's changed for me, but
sure.
like. Yeah, it's just you got to get out there in the car. You got to go do it, you know. And like we'll go win. I mean, it's one of those deals where like people don't understand. Like they're like, well, do you ever win your own event? It's like, yeah, sometimes, yeah. I mean, I don't win a lot, but sometimes, yeah.
Well, we hung out a few days before Kansas City,
right?
And then I'm seeing you here. Two completely different chases.
Right, I'm telling you, man.
You spend months preparing for your race car season. You're stressed out, and then you go experience it and see the smiles and race yourself and see the people that you're building something special for and supporting the racetrack.
Right. It's the people for me. Like it's the best feeling ever. I really, really, really needed that last weekend. And it was one of those deals where those text messages from people who, you know, they always were like, oh, what you do is so cool and like all that stuff. But like when they saw it for real and they were texting me the morning after the event, how their kids like can't stop talking about the race cars and
that
they had
really hits
like
you.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, right. So what we do really does have a huge impact on so many people, but it becomes such a job that, you know, like I don't get to see the people in the stands and go talk to them and they're having the best day of their life and they've been waiting for us to be there for months, all while I'm, you know, driving my rig across the country and I'm just like, man, I can't wait to get home. You know what I mean? Like it was a big attitude check for me. Like, I don't mean to get like too dark about it because I've never been there. I've been there. It's one of those deals where like, I've never like thought that what we did didn't matter anymore, but it was one of those deals where it's sometimes you need a reminder of how cool it is. And seeing that and seeing those little kids play around, like, you know, our stacker and all that stuff, like it was just really, really fun for me. Really fun for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it kind of woke me up.
It was a relief to see you after that event and how well it went, and seeing your post on Facebook and how happy racing your car that just got rebuilt was. And that's part of the reason I'm excited. I really like that we memorialized this moment that you're a big part of too.
It's a big one.
You've helped us grow Ice Cream Cruise to what it is. You literally were hustling DVDs on 90th and Maple out of your Porsche.
Yep, Harbor Freight parking lot, baby. Yep.
With I mean, there's probably 800 people in that parking lot at that. Yeah, maybe 2,000. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, it was pretty big. Yeah.
And
it was
here we have
800.
a photo of probably 12 to 14,000 people surrounding our drag strip here, I-29 Speedway.
Yep.
And you helped build this along with Car Takeover, and it gives I literally talked to a girl last night at Dragon Walk picking up Chinese. She said that she's met most of her friends through 1320 events, Hot Summer Nights, Ice Cream Cruise. Her boyfriend is a mechanic. She's going to school for being a mechanic. Like, it brings people together and builds families. And this is like one of the best environments you can meet friends and just experience good things in a positive way.
Because at the end of the day, everybody on that property, like, we're all connected by cars. So we all have a base immediately. It's not like walking by, you know, somebody had like a concert or whatever, you know, you might like that singer, but there's no real base of friendship. And cars are that for so many people. I mean, you could drop a car guy in any state, and if there's a car meet going on, we're going to have friends instantly. Yep. So like, that's one of the coolest part about cars, in my opinion, is everybody that you get to meet. But yeah, like the work aspect of it, you look at this stuff and it's a huge reminder of like how cool this is and how like blessed and lucky we are to have been a part of something like that.
Amen.
And like, it really takes you back big time. You're just like, man,
you're a big part of what Street Car culture is today.
Right.
Whether
And that's
it's
wild
for
to
your
think
impact
about.
through 1320 video,
Right.
helping foster what Cleetus is,
Right.
and Street Car Takeover itself. So
Right,
it's
that boy's in
something to be
NASCAR
proud
now.
of. I know. He just announced he's racing in Charlotte, too.
I know. It's
But
just wild.
we have these every year. We have a 1320 family Christmas party, and I have like 50 people in my house. I'm like, I can't. It's hard to restrict who's there and who's not because everyone there has had a big part in what I am, even if they haven't worked for me for 10 years. Like they're a big part of what 1320 video is.
Right.
And I'm really proud of the community that we built around us too. Right. And you're a big part of that.
Same.
So
I appreciate that.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm proud of you.
The other thing that's really exciting in your life is you just started a new business recently.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Race Ready Autosport. So, yeah.
And so Street Car Takeover's still a massive part of your life.
Huge.
But you also have this new passion.
Right.
That every time I talk to you about it, you're just so excited about the 3 deals you did last week and the 5 deals you're working on and the cool cars you get to play with.
Yeah.
And I hate you.
It's come full circle once again. You know, it's one of those deals where like we've been so fortunate to make what we love into a business that also is successful too.
Yeah.
And like it's enabled a lot of horrible habits, poor financial decisions with buying cars and building them and racing them. And, you know, I've always had a problem.
You're a drug dealer.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It's the next best thing always, you know, in the pursuit of like the next like fast. And so, I mean, over the last, 15 years, I would say were my car career, if you want to go car career, has gotten like super serious. You know, I've owned just about everything that's been relevant in those 15 years. And a lot of them, most of them to the extreme. And so it's been one of those.
You even owned a Mustang.
I did. Of all, and a Camaro too. I can't even believe it. But it's been one of those deals where like, you know, we've surrounded ourselves with the right people, the right shops to make these cars successful. And then, you know, somebody from the event and just being known in this world, somebody always wanted it after I would get it done. And I would just be like, yeah, whatever, sure, you can buy it, you know? And then it turned into me selling my cars all the time. And all of a sudden people started hitting me up like, hey, can you help me sell my race car? And I'm just like, well, yeah, sure, you know? And I think what kind of separates what we're doing is we deal with the 1% of the 1% of cars. So like it's pretty rare that I have a stock Huracan. They do roll through, but like most of the time they're 1,500 horsepower plus.
Yeah.
Or like a GTR. I think the lowest horsepower GTR I've sold all year made 1,200, the lowest horsepower one, and I sold. I think it was like 68 GTRs last year. Yeah, I'm a GTR guy, buddy. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, big GTR guy now.
You're wearing the shirt Race Ready Motorsports.
Yeah. Autosports.
Sorry.
Autosports.
Yep. I do like the name.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
What did you pull up in today? Tell me about that car.
Twin turbo Lamborghini Huracan. So built by Shop Houston. Shout out, boys. Really, really cool car. Super clean. That was one of the cars actually where my buddy Chris sent me that car from Michigan to sell for him. So yeah, it's cool. Like we've had cars from New Zealand. We've had cars from Canada.
Wow.
Just about every single state, guys will send us their modified cars to sell for them. But it's kind of cool, you know.
That's a risky business to go into. I looked at selling sports cars and exotic cars.
Right.
And if you're owning the car yourselves as a business, you don't want to have modified cars because they're a massive risk.
Right. But the thing that's
the $3,000, $10,000, $30,000 margin can go away in a heartbeat
real quick.
And then you have to sell 8 other cars to make it back.
And brother, it's happened. So yeah, it's one of those deals where it's a little bit of a gamble, but I think the reason why it works is because, you know, at the end of the day, I jump into my GTR and I can drive that home, or my twin turbo R8 and drive that home, or my twin turbo Viper that I've had. I don't have all those cars currently, but cars that I've had in the past. So, you know, when a guy calls me from Idaho to sell his 2,700 horsepower Gen 5 Viper, and he's like, well, have you ever been around one of these cars in a sequential? It's like, well, brother, I've owned one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
you're educated, you know the market.
Right. So not only can we sell these cars, but we've owned them, we've raced them, we've experienced them. And not only that, but like we have the guys in place too to go over all these cars before we sell them. And these are guys that have been pro mod racing for years. So like we have really, really good guys that go through all these cars. We have all the right contacts. And so like it kind of helps with the safety part of it from like, you know, selling junk. Cause if it's junk, we'll send it back.
Yeah, you've got a few different ways to protect yourself.
Yeah,
it's cool to see how it works.
Yeah.
Tell me about that GTR you just brought home last night. You sent me a picture of.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
So yeah,
cow.
Liberty Walk GTR. Yeah, it's a really cool car. Makes like 1,200 horsepower. It's just wild. You know, it's one of those deals where it's not everybody's bag, but it's one of those deals where it's just
it's
so
yours.
crazy.
You like the flashy stuff.
I like the over the top stuff. I really do.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Matte black, really cool guy owns it. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So
you get to play with some really cool
my
cars.
son thought that car was just it's like a real life Hot Wheels, you know.
And you've also got to work with some cool internet personalities too.
Yeah. So C-Boys, Garrett, his brother Parker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of people. Some pretty big celebrities, country music singers, stuff like that. Yeah, we've been ripping like crazy, man. So we just got back from Nashville, from a pretty well-known country music singer's house. We spent the afternoon with him, and we were going through all of his cars and stuff and talking about future plans and what's next. And we've kind of developed a relationship in that world with different people and different artists and stuff like that. That like, hey, you know, a lot of these guys really like cars, but they don't know what to do,
and they probably don't know who to trust.
Right,
everyone's after money with this.
Right.
If you have money, people are like looking for something.
Right.
You don't have a lot of genuine friends.
Correct.
To find someone that's a car guy that knows the world and just wants to help you out
and has all the connections and stuff like that. And that's what we can do. So it's almost like we're like supercar, race car concierge almost. Because we've done it with so many platforms. Like we can go, yeah, maybe those aren't the right guys to work with, but if you want that platform, these are the right guys to work with. And so we can take what you want and just get you whatever you need. So
the coolest thing to me is watching you progress over the almost 20 years I've known you.
Yeah.
And seeing that passion in you again.
Right.
From like similar passion when you started Street Car Takeover the first few years. It becomes a little bit of work, and you kind of it drains you sometimes. But seeing that.
Well, it's the people again. It's really, you know what I mean? Like it's a new wave of people again, because we're all car guys, but a lot of these guys that we work with aren't necessarily like racers, guys that you would find at the racetrack, but they're still car guys. So it's like, and we got into the big lifted truck world too, by accident, and those are so much fun. I don't care what anybody has to say. Rolling around in a truck with 30s is freaking cool. Yeah, it's just big flashy stuff. It's fun.
That any level truck.
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, you've had a couple, but
yeah, I've had a few of them. Yeah.
That one that we drove back from Kansas City was ridiculous.
Yeah, huge. Yep.
You couldn't even get it in a garage.
Nope.
You just had to park it out in front of your house.
Yep. That's all of them. So
even lowered all the way down. You couldn't get it in
the garage. Nope. Oftentimes they're too wide or
you need
too
an
tall.
RV garaged for that thing.
Right. So yeah, at least we have the shop now where we can throw them in. But
what's been your favorite car that you've had come through your sales channel?
Like that I've owned, or just one that's come through?
Yeah, you did a deal on.
Man, that's tough. There's been a lot of really, really cool ones. I like all the twin turbo V10 cars are cool, honestly.
So GTRs and turbo V10s kind of your bread and butter.
They're kind of our bread and butter, yeah. GTRs especially, just because I'm just so involved in that world right now with my race car and stuff. Sure. So, the GTRs, I've had a lot of record-setting GTRs. A lot of the biggest GTR builds that have ever existed have come through our shop. A lot of very, very well-known players in that game trust us with those cars. So those have been really, really cool. I think one of my absolute favorites, though, I've been really getting into McLarens lately. Yeah. And McLarens are just freaking cool.
It was a GT that you had, the green one?
Yeah, so I wanted to try something that wasn't so race car, that I could just drive every day. And so I bought one of those to be my daily, and that was really cool. And then there was so Sissio built like this, I think it made 12 or 1300 horsepower. My buddy Mark owned it originally.
And that's a hard platform to make power on. It's very fragile.
They're very finicky, right? Very finicky. But when you get it right, like them boys did, oh, baby, that car is the most like sensory overload car ever. And I think that's like why I get so excited about these things, because you get to experience so many different cars that like it's fun again. You know what I mean? Like it's new every day.
That's kind of what I like about our giveaway cars is we get to drive them around, like buy cars that have been a dream car of mine, drive around a little bit, and then change someone's life with it. It's crazy. Like it's so cool to build it. I'm sure in your world you have so many other cars that come through. You get to play with.
Yeah, every day there's something new. Every single day we have something new getting dropped off, and it's fun. Yeah.
Is there a car that you really want to own or test drive for a couple of days as you're selling?
Man, I get that question so much, and I've landed on my dream car doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I don't think it exists. So, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to find it. That is the one sucky part about buying and selling cars. They become a number to you sometimes. And so like developing a connection with a car and just with all of our contacts, like even our race cars and stuff. I mean, I get guys daily. I just got my GTR put back together and I get guys hitting me up almost every day. Like, hey, what's it take? And I'm just like, man, you know,
it's
like
a few days with the car.
Right.
Jeez.
Like so you don't even get to develop the relationship with it. Like it's the coolest thing ever. And then some guy goes, hey, what's it take? And you tell him what it takes, and then it's gone, and you're just like, oh my gosh, man, I gotta start all over.
The running joke is Chase is like, oh my god, look at this car I just bought. It's like, cool,
shiny.
Let's see how many weeks you own it.
Yeah, right.
But it's a perfect progression into this new business you started. It's so cool. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I think it's gonna be big. I really do. I think it's gonna be a big thing for me.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
And you just started it a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago, right?
Yeah. So I was doing it with some buddies for a year through their store, and then
you've been selling a lot of cars,
right? And then we were just like, you know what, it's time to do our own jam, and we started up, me and my brother and one of my good friends, Ryan, and it's just already the first 2 months that we've done have just been nuts. We've put up numbers that should not be a thing, so it's really cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, keep me updated.
I will.
We're always talking.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Just that, man, I'm just so proud. Like, I'm so proud of everything. And like, I hope that people can realize that the stuff that we're talking about, like, it's one of those deals where sometimes, you know, it might come off as cocky and it might be like, oh, look at us. You know what I mean? But like, it's not that. Like, I hope that you guys this translates through the video, like how cool the opportunities that we've had to not only change our own lives, but to change so many other people's lives too. That's the cool part about it. The stuff is cool. The cars are cool. Where we get to go is cool. But the people that you meet along the way, I mean, you can literally drop either one of us in any state in the entire country, and we would have people that would be there for us in
We're going to have a race car party if we want to.
Right. They literally, I mean, or just, you know, traveling across the country to go see your family or for Christmas and you break down or something. Yep. I have people everywhere. Whenever somebody goes on a trip, I'm like, hey, let me know if you need anything because I got people there. Amen. And that is the coolest part about what we do. So like, I hope that like the conversation shows people that it's not the stuff, it's what we've gotten to do.
And it wasn't anything forced. It wasn't like we're going to start this business and go do this. It was just a passion in all these different areas that we just gravitated towards.
Right.
And there's so many different great things that have come from it. It was just natural.
It never stops growing.
I love it.
So me too. It's freaking awesome.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Another Talkin' Shift. Hit the subscribe button for more. Who knows what we're going to have on next? Stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time.
Later, guys.